Hey guys, Technomentary with the video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to be comparing the iPhone 13 Pro with the Pro Max here in a head-to-head comparison. Going to take a look at what is same across both of these two new, fastest, latest, greatest iPhone on the market and what difference there are if you're choosing between either of these two phones. We're going to break down everything that you really need to know between these two devices if you're looking to consider one versus the other. So here we have, of course, the Sierra blue color and the gold color of the 13 Pro Max. So that's right here. As you can see here, of course, the box size is different because they're different size phones. That's probably the biggest thing you might argue, but there's some other differences as well we'll discuss in this video. But before we dive into today's video, if you guys are new to our channel, we do a lot of tech news, reviews, and giveaways, so make sure that like and subscribe button. Also, if you guys are in the market for one of these devices at a discounted price, make sure you guys check out the link in the description section. So as you'll notice, when I hold side by side, of course, size is the biggest thing, but let's go ahead and take a look at the actual box here. And between these two phones, of course, if you unbox them in our unboxing video, as you saw, both of them come with about the same things in the box. You get that just that cable, that's about it, and then a sticker and then SIM ejector too. Nothing else is included. Like with the iPhone 12 lineup, Apple has really shrunk down whatever they give anymore. You don't get anything else. You don't get no AirPods, headphones, any of that. To a degree, you even have to go out and buy one of these power wall adapter if you want your phone to be charged fast. You can, of course, use the older lightning cable as well. You don't have to use the USB-C one, but those charge takes forever because these are bigger phones. They need bigger powered adapter to really charge them up. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Holding side by side, as you know, built finish of it between these two phones are going to be about the same in terms of their design. Design-wise, it hasn't changed. Of course, you'll notice in the back here, if we take a look at closely in the back, you have those 3 triple cameras, LiDAR, and then the finish between these two phones. Now, in terms of the design, there hasn't been any change in terms of the design. So if you're thinking, okay, one might be different than the other one, well, build quality is about the same. So that's going to be the first thing that's the same. The next thing that's the same is actually the phone's display here. Both of the phone does have that 120 hertz for the very first time Pro Motion display. So this display's about the same here. You're not getting one display versus another, which is going to be different. Even to a degree, the storage capacity on this, you might be thinking because it's a bigger phone means bigger storage. That's not the case. Between these two phones, you're getting the same storage level, which is going to be 4 different configuration. You get the base 128 gig, which Apple, they really don't seem to go up. But then on this model, we have the 256 gig. You can get it in the 512 gig. And lastly, for the very first time, that 1 terabyte, which is a lot of storage. But again, if you don't plan on using the Cloud Plus subscription to store your stuff, you might be considering that 1 terabyte. So that's also gonna be the same here. Other things the same is the camera. So this is one thing that was different between the Pro and the Pro Max lineup between in the iPhone 12 lineup that we saw. But the 13 lineup, the cameras are exactly the same. They have that 3 triple 12 megapixel camera with that 3 times optical zoom. They both feature for the very first time on the iPhone is this new mode known as cinematic mode, which Apple heavily reviewed in their release launch video, that you're able to do one of the best probably cameras we've seen. Of course, Apple, every time they release a new phone, that's the best camera. But one thing really like about this is that it can really go in zoom detail. The depth level of things just amazing how the cameras work. So they're definitely improved camera, which we've seen across the board. You can really go down, zoom in terms of when you're looking at things. So that's really allows you to get into that depth control that you're able to do. The other thing, pretty much very close, is the performance. So both of the phones come with a 15 Bionic chip and 6 gigs of RAM under the cover. So hood-wise, they're same chip on it. Although one thing we noticed is on some of the tests, especially the Geek benchmark, slightly ahead was the iPhone 12 Pro, but not by much. Very slight performance. Might have been just one of those things where, if you test it over time, the average, they were going to be the same. But we saw some of the single core and the multi-core coming about 100 to 150 points faster, which we don't know if it's just like a glitch or just simply just being a little bit. Again, it's not something you'll notice even if you play games or anything like that. It's not one of those things where it's really noticeable at all. And of course, both of the phones come with iOS 15 right off the gate, which they were meant to do. So that's going to be the similarities. Now let's talk about the next thing, which is going to be the differences. That's what you really want to know between these two devices. Well, the difference between it, first thing, it's going to be the price point. So the iPhone 12 Pro starts the base model of $999, where you're paying $100 more for the bigger size 6.7 inch. So you're paying $1099, at least in the US model. So 6.1 inch display versus 6.7. Now that's going to be one thing that you're going to notice. The other thing, it's going to be the weight. So of course, a bigger phone means more weight. The iPhone 13 Pro is just a little over 7 ounces or so, and then the 13 Pro Max, of course, is around 8 ounces. So that's going to be the other thing. The next thing, of course, we didn't want to mention, it's going to be the battery life. Now, if you talk about the battery life, you want to look at the mAh battery on these capacities. So between both of these two phones, they have slightly different battery size or capacity, and that's the key difference probably between these two phones. The iPhone 13 Pro here has around 3125 mAh battery, and now in terms of video playback, you get about 22 hours of video playback, which is one of those indicators. Where the 13 Pro Max, for the very first time, one of the biggest battery that we saw in any smart device for Apple, at least for their smartphone. It's a 4373 mAh battery, which gives you a whopping 28 hours of video playback. And this battery, again, biggest battery you can get on any iPhones on the market, and it's been upgraded from the previous generation as well. So bigger battery, of course, it's going to be the other point. So between these two phones, if you were to really break it down, what are you looking at? First thing you're looking at, it's going to be $100 difference between the models. So you're paying $100 more. The next thing that's going to be different is the size. Of course, 6.1 inch versus 6.7 inch. And lastly, it's going to be your battery life. So if you're looking for a phone with the most amount of battery life, this is where the Pro Max will come into play. Of course, both of them comes in pretty much everything from the same configuration to color, the display, the cameras, all of that, the charging wise. Of course, the battery and the size and the price is going to be what you're going to be looking at. So is that $100 worth it? It's going to be your personal preference if you want to pay $100 more for bigger battery and bigger size, and probably comes down to what size of hands you have. If you have a medium hand or so, which we do, I like the configuration of the Pro because it fits well. Now, if you have a bigger hand or a little bit slightly bigger, you may prefer the Pro Max one just because, you get a bigger display, almost 6.7, almost a televised display. So hopefully this video was helpful, making you guys decide between the Pro or the Pro Max of the 13 lineup. And if this video is helpful, please make sure that like and subscribe button. Also leave a good comment in the comment section which one you prefer and why, and what do you like about these phones if you started to use them or consider getting one of these. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.